background.
All right. Welcome to the Zen Report. I am Vanessa Reagans, and I am the creator of the Zenpreneur program. And today I have a very special guest. We are going to be talking about video basics. So I'd like to introduce my friend Alonso Orellana. Hello.
Hello,
Woohoo!
hello, hello. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. So, Alonso, how long have you been an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur, a lot longer than I've had Visual Street, in different forms. High school for sure. A lot of my my stepdad had a demolition company, and even from then, I used to grab my friends, use his pickup truck, and we'd go pick up stuff from people, and I'd grab like two or three friends, and make like $100, $150 as 16-year-olds, just on the weekends. And other entrepreneurial, we used to throw parties back when raves were kind of getting bigger. Before they got bigger, we used to throw these underground parties, and a lot of people were involved, and just got into the nightlife like that. So we had the entrepreneurial bug for a long time and felt like we could always do something.
Nice. Awesome. And then can you share a little bit from that journey? Can you share how you became a professional background with your videos? Your video.
Well, yeah, of course. So in high school, I had a teacher who thought, I'd make a great lawyer, and she got me an an internship at a law firm. And, I was like, you know what, I can argue with people. And I did that and decided after 3 years, I was hired after the summer, and worked in the mail room, got hired as a case assistant. And it was right when I was graduating high school. So I spent the next 3 years doing that, and it also started to, really go deeper into the party scene and restaurants and nightclubs. And when I turned 21, I wanted to bartend. I thought it was like the sexiest, most fun thing I could do, and make money, and be around, sexy people. And so I got into the restaurant industry and started, waiting tables and done bartending, and it was a lot of fun. I was able to do that for about 15 years.
Wow.
And so when I left and lived in South Lake Tahoe for about 7 of those years, and when I came back to the Bay Area, I was ready to move on. I just turned 30 years old, and I wanted something new. And I found a friend of mine from high school, and he was coming out of a nightclub, and he had a camera in his hand. And I remembered we played sports together, and he was the guy with the camera always, and almost annoyingly, and I had been doing action sports and kind of grew up with photography with my dad. And it's funny, an uncle of mine sent me a picture, and I must have been like a year and a half old, not even 2 years old. My brother wasn't even around yet, and I was holding a camera. And so it's kind of cool. It's like it's been in the blood for a long time, and then it just kind of popped up. Like I was doing photography as a kid, and my stepdad had a really nice Sony camera that I used to film all the time, but we never edited. That was never a thing. It was just capturing it and just hooking it up to the VCR and the TV. So I've been doing media video for about 10 years now. Worked with a company for about 5 years, learned the ropes. I didn't go to school for it, and just started editing weddings, editing music videos. I just had a camera in my hand 24/7, and I just got obsessed. And at some point, I was able to leave the restaurant industry behind, managing bars and restaurants, and just did this full time. So life changed at that point, and professionally, I've been doing it, making money for about 8 years on it.
Wow.
So, it started, Visual Street about 5 years ago. I thought what we could do with the rise of social media,
Mhm.
we thought that we could do it for companies and really focus on companies. So we didn't do too many weddings after that, and we do weddings every, maybe a couple every year, but it's only for like our best clients that really, really want us to capture the moment.
Right.
Other than that, though, 100% businesses.
Nice. Very cool. I love that you shared that you are very self taught. I always kind of use that term as a self taught entrepreneur, kind of, where you've taken just all of your knowledge and you've been able to build a business and operate those systems and processes to make it all work. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think at the core for any entrepreneurship or business, I learned not to, when I the first camera I ever bought was $700, and I wasn't gonna buy any more equipment unless it was making me money. So that camera that it wasn't even considered professional. It was a Canon T2i. I was out there with jobs, and people were like, "Oh, that's not a pro camera." I'm like, "Okay, well, if it makes me money, it's professional." So that camera made me about $100,000 before I retired it. And that camera bought me the next camera, and that camera bought me the next camera. So I never did it on credit. I didn't borrow money. I just flipped it.
Yeah.
And I come from that world where you get something and you flip it and you flip it again and you just keep reinvesting. And I think that's why we've been able to survive and do things. Everything we own, every piece of equipment, there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And if it's there's gonna be an ROI on it right away, then
Mhm.
we decide to get it, no matter what it is. And I think that's been the best thing that I've ever done in business.
I have to agree. Yeah, I definitely put things, if I'm going to add a new business tool or anything, it goes through, I have a certain criteria that I put it through to make sure if it's even worth my time investing in it.
Yeah, it's really easy to see like the shiny new toy or the
Yes.
shiny new app, or hiring people. That there's a balance to it, and you get excited. Money comes in, or people are interested, and the times right now is a perfect example of it, because we had X amount of people and this overhead and studio, and we haven't really used the studio in 2 months.
Yeah.
We go there, we grab gear and stuff like that, and that's a fixed cost.
Right.
So having to come up with different ways and different ideas, we're all in the middle of that right now. So entrepreneurship is not for the thin skin, and you're gonna have to eat a lot of cup of noodles before you can eat that sushi.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you can go back to cup of noodles every once in a while,
Yes. As a
which is
treat.
what we're doing now.
Yeah. Totally. Exactly. So, Alonzo, just moving into more social media, do you obviously you use social media to market your business? So, I'm curious what your favorite platforms that are really, really helping your business grow.
Right now, my favorite platform is LinkedIn.
Okay.
Um, we're getting a lot of it's all businesses, it's all very entrepreneurial people. We're reaching out to them in ways that we've never reached out before. It's very focused, very targeted. You can go through all your filters and really get the people. Right now, I'm really going after the commercial real estate market,
Yeah.
and they need more help than ever, with so many businesses moving around, downsizing. I'm seeing a lot of for lease signs,
Yeah.
and there's no stop, especially in 2020 going into 2021. People are rethinking the work environment, and uh, there's pros and there's cons, but the way office space is known as we knew it pre-COVID, will no longer be, and there's going to be a whole different type of office space, and people are going to be working from home sometimes. People are going to be going to the office, and there's probably going to be less meetings in person, and we'll see how production goes like that. I think we have catapulted into the 5-10 years within the last 2 months, just to be able to see, not by choice but by necessity. And so the office space will not go away. It's just going to be redesigned.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
So to your question, commercial real estate through LinkedIn. Huge right now.
Yeah.
Anybody who's not, any entrepreneur is not using LinkedIn to kind of get their awareness out there is really doing a disservice right now, because you can reach a very, very targeted amount of people.
Yes.
And the thing with Facebook, Instagram, and any kind of social media, LinkedIn included, there's a rule that I use right now that's like 70-30. 70% of the time, we're just actively engaging and listening and commenting on other people's stuff, and the other 30% is we're posting. So you have to spend that time. It's like Bang, where we met. Imagine if somebody just goes up to you and says like, "Hi, I sell coffee. Here, buy," and then you walk away. You're like, "Huh?
Right.
Well, great," and you toss it. You have to have those conversations. You have to get to know people, and you really, that's what social marketing is all about. And there is a huge amount of people that don't do it.
Yes.
When I go and comment on their posts and you never get a hit back, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Because I'm genuinely want to engage with you, and if you don't engage back, you're probably most likely going to lose that client.
Yeah.
And that's where people can really be effective, is socializing in these conversations. And you don't even have to post that much. You just go engage, and where other people are engaging, and you're going to see the traction. People are going to start looking at what you do.
Right.
And so hopefully you have your website set up. Hopefully your online persona avatar is up there. That's why you do need content. So when people go back to check you out, they're like, "Oh, okay, they're into this. They like this." And that's where you really make your bones. So really engage.
Absolutely.
That's the best tip I can give.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. I love LinkedIn. I made a very long hashtag on purpose to be kind of, what's the term? It's being sarcastic. Everybody needs a LinkedIn profile. So in my Zenpreneur program, that's definitely one of the platforms that we focus on, because it's one of the biggest ones. If you're a business owner, you really need to be on LinkedIn. If you're anybody, you really need to have a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, sales, anything. I mean, it's super powerful, the data that's on there.
Yes.
And different networks are used differently. Facebook is the feel good, the stories about family and what's going on, kind of those updates. You really should not be selling so much on Facebook. And really, marketing has changed forever, that you don't have to like go and sell like the Billy Mays, like, buy this, buy that, 20% off. That just doesn't work as well. Where that kind of works for me is on Instagram, when I see sponsored ads, and I'm like, you get, as much as I dislike Amazon and his owner, it's so easy to buy on there, because you see something that you like, you're like, damn, how did they know I like that camera? And then when you already have done your research and you're like, oh, it goes on sale or something, you're like, boom, press a button. So Instagram is that place for me.
Yeah. Awesome. And has anything changed with your marketing strategy? Has anything changed for you in your business with using social media? Have you gained more followers? Do you feel like there's anything that has really grown since marketing your business on social media?
Yeah, when I started engaging more, people started sending me more direct messages, and they rap songs say it happens in the DMs. It's absolutely true. The DMs is where it happens, and
Yeah.
and you have to, like I said, right when you connect with somebody, you can't like sell them off the bat. It's like you're trying to just knock it out of the ballpark. It's really just creating that relationship, seeing where you guys can both work together, and it's about an even exchange. A service that you believe in that can help somebody, the money will happen, the money will come. You just have to really focus on the value that you bring, and the service, the type of service, and how it's going to help somebody else. I believe video can help every single person try to make a living, any person. And there's different things that you can do. I have ideas for every kind of business that there is, and they're all different. At the end of the day, though, it's you're gonna make sales indirectly, not saying like, "Hey, buy from me right now." It's letting people know, and then at some point, people are gonna be like, "Hey, you know what? I actually do need that service. I would like it. I see the value in it now." But I spend very little time in trying to convince people that video, for example, is a good idea. If you don't think that video is a good idea for your business, then we should not be conversating.
Right.
I left that conversation behind a long time ago.
For sure.
So people think a website is needed, you know?
Right, right, right. Exactly. It's with no question, video
Yeah,
is necessary.
yeah. And you can do things yourself,
Right.
but this is the fact is the more you spend time doing other things that you don't want to do or that you might not be as good, the less time you spend doing the things that you actually do want to do.
Absolutely. Goodness. Yeah, definitely want to make sure you're putting your energy into those areas of your business that actually bring you that joy.
Yeah, I had to learn that. I mean, we never did that much marketing because people see our videos and they're like, "Who did that for you?" You know. But since I started doing more, and really like I always repost our clients' videos, and that kind of helps us as well. You know,
Yeah.
so we give them love, we shine a light on them, and that shines a light on us. You know,
Exactly.
so I use social media probably 90% for the business side and letting people know how we do. And it's really talking about our clients. And I love that because it does come around for us. The other 10%, you know, cool pictures of places we go. And that still has like, I mean, I do a lot of drone footage
Yes.
and it's like passion, love, and business showing those, you know, the places that we go to, and it's beautiful being able to capture that, and then going from digital to printing,
Yeah.
that is the next level. So
Yeah, I've seen those drone shots from the Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge. It's beautiful, especially with everybody staying at home. I'm sure that was a different experience too, just because you're not really having to worry about those drone kind of policies, I guess, for lack of a better word.
well, the biggest thing is like you can't fly when there's a lot of people around,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I was able to get to places, and it's pretty incredible seeing the city just shut down with nobody on the streets and getting these drone shots. So I will forever have this time. It's kind of my silver lining, and
Yeah.
also a lot of people were stuck at home the whole time. We were able to work with several um, essential businesses. So we were out there getting these shots and working with them as well. And I think it's nice to see like, hey, oh look, that was Dolores Park, or that was, you know, downtown San Francisco today, and people could see that from home. So
Yeah.
I've been enjoying that.
Awesome. So cool. I have too. I've been loving those. They're beautiful.
How have you spent the last 2 months uh, doing your thing?
It's a good question. I have been diving into learning. I love learning. I never want to stop learning. And one of the biggest things is learning how to do video with Ecamm Live, which is through the Mac software. And when we get off, you'll see things that I've learned on doing like lower thirds, especially with interviews like this. I feel like that looks really professional, and something that I really wanted to do with my business, that I have to look professional with my new coaching practice, this program Zenpreneur. It's all about marketing. It's all about social media, weaving those business tools into your workflow and being confident in those processes. So I have to be I have to kind of show that off too on my end, not just, hey, trust me, let me show you what I'm doing. So by doing these interviews, doing these videos, educational videos, and things like that of everything that I'm learning, that's been kind of what I've been doing. I also worked on getting 2 new yoga certifications in 2 different styles that are not taught, I don't think, a whole lot in the Bay Area: Yin Yoga and Yoga Shred, which is HIIT training and yoga combined, which is pretty awesome. So blending that self-care into Zenpreneur, I really wanted to get those under my belt. So my Zenpreneur clients get me for yoga and coaching. So that's pretty cool. that's kind of the bulk of what I've been doing in a nutshell the last few months.
Well, I think you're right on time with it, and it's something I've been thinking about more and more. Is that people are realizing that it's okay to disconnect for a little bit and do something for ourselves,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to do it. Like whether we go on retreats where it's like really disconnecting, like put your phone in a locker room or in a locker and doing yoga or working on ourselves just to like kind of recenter ourselves. Some of the things like me going for a drive and shooting the aerial photography, that's kind of me disconnecting,
Hmm.
and it gets me out there, and I'm still with technology and still doing something I love, but it kind of recenters me and makes me focus on what I want to do. But I believe that not only businesses and employees are going to start doing this more, but it's going to be part of our life. Different parts of the world, they have, they work 4 days a week, but are still productive. You know,
Yes.
as long as you're productive and you can still do what you want to do, you have to be able to disconnect, because this 60, 80 hours a week, we're killing ourselves. And for what? For
Literally.
money? For what? What is it for? Like to compete for a nicer car, a nicer house? What do we really need? And I think this time people are figuring out, like spending time with their family, um, really disconnecting, getting off the phone is important, and it's for our mental health, you know. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
what you doing?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with all of those points.
So,
So,
what's next for you?
sorry.
What's next? What's
What's
next?
next? I have created two coaching programs. So one Zenpreneur, we're talking about how to, mostly for small business owners who are intimidated with weaving technology into their workflow. They may have a Facebook page, but may not know how to utilize it correctly. I have owned that I am a fan of social media. I like being on there. I like understanding the process of strategy. And helping people do that is another thing. One of my three words that I live by is educate. It's leader, tenacious, and educate. And I made a vow that I was going to, first of all, I feel like it's my responsibility, if I have that knowledge, to share it with others. So I love teaching it, and I have 4 Zenpreneur clients right now, and I literally today signed up a new client to start in my July enrollment period for quarter 3. So super stoked, and it's really taking off. So I feel like I found a niche that is really necessary right now. A lot of people are building their own businesses, but they don't have that knowledge or full understanding of how to market themselves. So I've also been educating myself and taking a course online to learn more about these strategies as they are ever changing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a bit of what I'm doing now. And like you said, well, there's like a little shimming happening in my schedule. I need more time to build my new coaching career. That's my primary focus. However, I have my private clients for in home massage and yoga who I will obviously return to, but I might be changing my availability.
Mhm.
So that's been kind of something been on heavy on my mind. Still going to continue with massage, but I really need this career transition to be smooth and to put all of my focus on it eventually. So that's kind of what I've been doing. That's what's next for me. And I am having a blast with this. I know that everything I've learned from my past business, operating those other businesses, I have brought into here. And I have, if it doesn't align with how I'm going to build this new career path, I don't even put any energy into it. It's so different from what I used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been the feedback, and what is your process getting a new client? How does that work?
I have an
Sure.
enrollment call. So I have a discovery call and I take them through a few questions, kind of getting to know where they are now with technology, what their relationship is now, with technology and what they want to see. Well, the Zenpreneur program, my intense program, is 90 days. So what do you want to see in this next 90 days? What knowledge do you want to have? And then addressing obstacles, noticing triggers of what may hold us back. For instance, for me, I've noticed if something doesn't work right, it does trigger me to not want to keep going sometimes. So that sometimes can be a block or a struggle for me. So addressing those and then learning how to push through those blocks and not let those stand in your way. And then at the end, collecting all of that information, then we determine whether or not we'll be a good fit working together based on the information we've shared. So that's what I've been doing, or that's the process of enrolling. So my next enrollment period is for July. So I'll be doing discovery calls all of June, and my whole marketing strategy for June is to market the enrollment period.
You know, you've been doing podcasting and having these conversations with people. I created a whole separate sister company, Podcast Street, for the production side of it. There's such a need, and people are doing it over Zoom right now. What's been the biggest value to you for being able to have these open conversations, or inviting people to have these conversations?
What has been the value of it?
Or what have you gotten out of it?
Oh, well, a lot of it is practice. Like there's something about, knowing that you're going to have a call like this for a potential client and being completely confident in your ability to deliver what you are saying, right? You should be able to deliver what you're saying on, but having that confidence on the phone, and the school that I attended really lays out all the step-by-step process. I went to the Health Coach Institute, or through the Health Coach Institute, and their whole program, the All-Star program that I'm in, I completed it, but they have a step-by-step process on how to build these premium programs. So I've been able to really take that knowledge and really build all those foundations, that it's not just here's how to coach, it's here's how to build your coaching program. So I've been really liking that, because especially if you're switching gears, transitioning into something new, I get how to build something, but they give you a full step-by-step process, so I didn't even have to really look it up, which was nice. So
nice to have a blueprint and then kind of make it your own, right?
Exactly. So now I have, organized my process into Google Drive. So I have all the questions. So I just pull that up on the call and I just answer the questions and write down what they say in my notepad. And it's been really, really nice. It's been super nice to have that.
So is Anatomy Nerd done, or is Anatomy Nerd going into Zenpreneur somehow?
I'm keeping the podcast. I won't lie, I haven't really been too active with that right as of now, but I will be adding my podcast to my new website. So the community is down. Yeah. I stopped with the community. But that's okay. Lessons learned, and like I said, I know what I want in a business and how I want it to be, and my involvement in the business. So all of those things that I want are now being created with this new coaching career path. So yeah, it's really
we get better and we learn.
Yep.
I liked what was the application called? It was almost like building your own app.
Mighty Networks.
I really like it. I just, for some reason, it didn't take off for me. But you were building quite a bit of library for that, and I like I think it is the future, one way or another. Maybe it's just a version of it, because Facebook's and the Instagram and even LinkedIn, we're slaves to it, right, in a way. And when they decide that they're not going to let our 1,000, 2,000 people see our stuff, that's when they got us, and I understand they all got to make money, but what I liked about it was that you're building your own community, and no matter what, we have to build our own network and our own community. So I love that you're taking pieces of that and adding to how it's evolving to the news business.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And I'm not losing my anatomy nerdness. That's never going to go away. And I get to implement that self-care knowledge into the Zenpreneur, because part of being a Zenpreneur is being active in your own self-care and being mindful of your energy, both mentally and physically. So I really do practice that and hone in on those steps.
I have a question, final
Yes,
question for that.
of
Is
course.
so Zenpreneur, will you ever have like a retreat where people go away for like a week or 2 weeks somewhere out of the country? And if so, can I come and can we do video around it?
Heck
I want to be
yes.
part of it.
Alonso, so seriously, yes. My friend Edith, she used to be my massage client here in the States, and she moved to Puerto Vallarta. And she and I literally developed, it's a 3-day retreat in Puerto Vallarta. And it's for the Zenpreneur program and my other coaching program. And it is exactly that. You taking those self-care practices and techniques, bringing your own books, bringing whatever you want material wise that's going to help you kind of zone out. And you can bring your work if you want, that's fine. But practicing taking breaks, stretching, doing yoga, introducing them to yin style yoga and the yoga shred that I'm going to be certified in. So, yes, and my hope is for October. So, if you, my goal is literally to be there for those days in October. So, we are planning for that.
I might have to join you, but I'm going to be there in November.
Oh, cool.
We're still, yeah, our wedding is November 7th in PV.
Right. Oh my gosh. I wonder, the gal does wedding events. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's changed. It was going to be a lot more people. And I think
sure.
because of all this, there's been a lot of, which is fine. I mean, I could have like 5 people there and I'd be happy.
For sure. No, totally.
I'll put the rest of the money into something else.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so I'll be also marketing that for June and throughout until October. Yeah. So thanks for asking that.
Yeah. Yeah, PV's like it's a quick flight.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
yeah. I wish I was actually we were conversating yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? I would love to live in Mexico for like 3 months out of the year. Figuring it out how to do that. I think it could be done.
Oh, absolutely.
I need to be next to the beach and the ocean and have a mezcal cocktail with me, and food, and it just needs to happen.
There you go. And yeah, I mean, it would be great to take a break and go surf for me. Like, that would be awesome. How cool would that be?
Well, I'm in it. You let me know when.
All right, for sure. We'll be in contact about that. So I wanted to go over some business app tools since we're both entrepreneurs, and I wanted to ask you since you obviously use editing software, are there tools that you use to operate Visual Street Films?
Yeah. No, we definitely have built a really great infrastructure. When COVID happened, and everybody was working from home, we were already built for that, and there was a couple minor changes that we needed to do, and we're still kind of working out some kinks, but for the most part, we were built for it. We brought our machines to edit at home. I haven't edited in like 2 years, but I brought my stuff at home, and we've been using the studio as a jump off for equipment and to recharge batteries and just to have some normalcy.
Yes.
But Adobe, we're all Adobe.
Okay.
We use Premiere to edit. I'm not, whether you use Final Cut or Premiere or even iMovie, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to say like, oh my God, you edited this on this. It's about the final product.
Sure.
But as far as workflow, professional workflow, when other people are working on the same projects in which everybody on our team does. It's almost like the Henry Ford line of editing. At least 3 editors get to touch the edit, and so you have to have the same programs. And so our workflow goes from Adobe Premiere and each sequence and filing system we created over the years and kind of perfected it. We're always still finding out new ways to better be more organized, but our hard drives all look the same. Our sequences look the same.
Yeah.
And so when you pass on a project to somebody else, you already know that process.
Right.
And that's the greatest thing that we've ever done. I work with other outside artists and vendors, and sometimes their stuff is like everywhere. Or, for example, an exported file, it'll say final, and it'll say final. And you're like, okay, which one is it? So we have a system where it's, the latest number version is the last one. 002, 003, 007, 117, whatever it is. It can go back, and so we're on the same page with that. But other than those are, Adobe makes really incredible, powerful tools right now. Lightroom for photos. We still use Photoshop. Adobe After Effects for like motion text, or those are like the really cool things that come in, and they work really well with Adobe Premiere. So those are the ones that we use the most. For music, we use Logic to edit audio. That is, up there with Pro Tools. The professionals use it. So if you pass on a project to somebody else, they know how to open it. And that's why the workflow and the certain tools, it's important to know the different forms to be able to do that, because somebody hands us a project on Final Cut, we'll be able to work with it,
Totally. Exactly.
So, that's on the creative side, right? And then for the business side, I would be nothing without Slack right now. Slack absolutely revolutionized my business. The way I'm able to take that data and that content, copy and paste and communicate with not only my team, but all the different clients. Right now, I quarterback 18 different teams.
Wow.
Some of them are active, and they go, they may be inactive for a couple months, but then they come back on. And I always say this: we can email, we can chat, we can have cocktails and talk about things, but if it's not on Slack, it doesn't exist.
Right.
And so that keeps us on the same page. In Slack, you can easily go in and see all the different files. You can see updates. If you go away for a week, whenever I go on vacation or just away, I can see what my team is doing actively, because they update it, right? I don't even have to call them. If a client says, "Hey, Alonso, where's that one video?" I say, "Hold on, give me a second." Boom. I check. I go to Slack, or I go on Monday, which is another great app.
Yes.
And I can see exactly where things are. So Slack for communication, Monday for project files or projects. You can see the updated versions, the client, who shot it, who edited, who directed it, any notes on the project, any information that needs to be that you need to know about the project. It's all in there.
So helpful.
And it's super helpful. It's revolutionized my business in general.
And Monday is color coded.
Yeah. Well, so Monday is Google, right? Like all the different forms, but it's more it's easier to use. It's color coded for any artist. You can see it. It's my whiteboard digitally. So whether it's on the phone or it's on my desktop or laptop or anything, it works really, really well. You can drag and kind of create new new sequences, but everything is on there. I mean, I'm going to open it right now and I'll show just what it looks like from the production. We have a production board, and it goes from pre-production to production to post production, and you can actually drag things, and it'll say the project, the notes, the day we're working on it, when it's due, the time, the status. You say, Alonso, hey, what's going on with that edit? Oh, we're uh, editing the content, or we're going through the interview, or we have to pick up a drone shot, whatever it is, and it shows everybody it even shows who uploaded it and who checked it. So
Nice.
everybody's on the same page. There's just so much accountability.
Yes.
Without it, I would be everywhere.
Totally. And bird's eye view. I love the applications that kind of give you that bird's eye view of what is exactly going on and what's on your plate for the day.
Yeah, it's powerful for the day, the week, the month, the year, everything. It's and all these, Slack, for example, is not just another app. Slack works with all the apps that you already use.
Yes.
So it synchronizes everything, your calendar, the conversations. I can even sync up Monday with Slack. And so I do that to some sort, but I still use both of them. I pretty much know if I wanted to build an app, like a Visual Street app, I would take all these apps and put it into one.
Yes.
Right.
All the features in one. That'd be amazing.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Anybody who's coming into my industry, for example, whether it's a photographer, designer, motion graphic artist, videographer, what the blueprint that we have right now would help. I mean, it's 10 years worth of information, at its best, at its highest level right now. It's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Very cool. Yeah, I use Notion for my main hub. I don't know if you've played around with that. I think we've talked about it before, maybe. But it's basically a clean slate, and you build out these templates to help you with your workflow. So a little bit more of a learning curve. I think Monday's pretty. You just choose this for this project and you kind of fill it in. Notion, you do have to do a little bit more building, but once you know how to build it, then it's pretty darn easy. So I've been really liking that. That one, when you describe Monday, that is kind of like my Monday app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're organized, I mean, there's still thousands of businesses that don't have this. One of the clients that we work with, they were doing all paper, up until a few months ago, and even, payments and such. Now they have, when I showed them Slack and Monday and all that, they have this huge TV in their hub.
Yeah.
So people can come see and be updated, and they can look at it on their phone. So you don't have to be like, oh my God, I got that on my whiteboard in the office. I'll contact you tomorrow. No, you do it right away, and it's right there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, for Monday, for example, I want to create a different board where our clients can check in themselves. They don't even have to contact me. They can check in and see where their video's at and when they're going to get their first cut or re-edit or whatever it is, because we keep up with it. And so that would be super powerful.
Wow. Yeah, that would be amazing. An excellent feature too when you are having new clients. I don't think a lot of people have a space where they, as the client, can see the steps that they're on within that project. Very cool.
Yeah.
Neato.
The client you still have to have that face-to-face and the communication and whether it's on Zoom or live. I go see my clients every week, and we sit down and we talk about ideas. And the one thing that a lot of new entrepreneurs do, or maybe it's a generational thing, that's the greatest thing you can do for your business, and have face-to-face time. And it doesn't even have to be about the work, but you are growing a relationship. And in times like these, for example, a lot of people, companies will cut out their if they've never met their marketing team that is working out of Ohio or something, they might be more willing to cut them off. They don't have a relationship with. A lot of our clients kept us on even though it was tough financially. They're like, you know what? We've been working together for X amount of years. Let's still help each other. What can you do? Example, Tools Garage, just like everyone else, they kept their doors open but they weren't producing as much.
Right.
And so that was a decision that they had to make. And I'm really grateful and glad that they kept us on because they saw the value. And then I stepped it up. Instead of seeing them once a week, we were doing stuff twice a week because we had the availability.
Right.
So we will never forget that, and our clients will never forget that, right?
Absolutely.
So it's really important to kind of step out of the online world and go into the physical world and provide that service, that real like community, you know.
Real life
So,
connection.
yeah, absolutely.
I completely agree. Yeah, what's one of the biggest things with clients is building that rapport, building on that relationship and actively doing it, not just a little bit, having it be an active part of your flow.
Yeah, people just want to automate everything in life, and that's not the reality. And as you know, I mean, everybody wants to create a program where they can be poolside or at the beach, and you're making money. That for the people that the very few amount of people that do that
Yeah.
are able to do that. First of all, that's not full time, right? And second, they have to even let's say the Tony Robbins of the world, right? They still have to physically go and do stuff with people to be able to have that online presence, right?
Yes.
And buy those coaching, DVDs or downloads or coaching programs.
Yeah.
So that's not the reality. You can't set it and forget it, right?
Right.
There still has to be work done, and even when you do get to that level, you still have to keep up with it, right?
Exactly.
So
One of the things I have always felt so strongly about since my entrepreneur journey since 2013 has been understanding and knowing all the processes of your business, no matter what, every single part. Because once you do delegate, I am a huge fan of delegation, but then you'll be able to, if something happens, you'll be able to kind of pick up the slack if you need to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I started to edit again, personal projects, and then other things for marketing purposes,
Mm-hmm.
um, and and I reminded me of how much I do love to edit. But the reality is this: two realities. One, I'm really grateful that I can step in and just do it because
Yes.
at my core, I'm a very good editor, actually getting in there and doing the work. But two, it shows my team that I can still do it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, hey, no matter what, you need to be able to do those things. And then you're not too good for anything, like I
Yes.
take out the garbage, I clean, I do the thing, anything that I would ever ask of any of our team to do, I've done that a million times, and I'm still willing to do it
Yes.
because that's what it takes, right? So you have to stay connected and be able to run your business that way. I've always felt very positive about that. In the restaurant world, for example, it's hard for me to trust, let's say, a general manager or an owner, for example, that's never done the work, has never been a server, or has never washed dishes,
Yeah.
has never bartended before. It's hard. It's not impossible because some people are very business minded, but um, it's hard for me to respect somebody who's never been in the trenches.
Exactly. Exactly. And then when you do get to delegate those tasks out, you're more appreciative and so very
Oh yeah,
grateful that they're taking that off of your to do list. So
yeah,
that's kind of just my little circle of how I think about that.
yeah. No, you should know every single part of your business. I mean, one of the things that I'm trying to become stronger in is, when Dave Toole asked me about my P&Ls, I was like, "What the hell's a P&L?" And so the numbers and being able to forecast business and what it looks like, your growth or downward, what it looks like every year.
Yeah.
That's part of entrepreneurship. You need to know your numbers. You need to know how much something is costing you. And as artists, that's the hardest thing because artists are like, I'm just gonna do this, do that, blah blah blah. I'm paying my bills. That's all that matters. But when you start to build a real business and not be a solopreneur, and you have other people that you have to think about, that's when those numbers really come into place,
Yeah.
and you know what what your profits, your losses, your overhead. Um, you know what you can count on and what you need to do. So I'm constantly trying to get better at that. And I'm not an accountant. I don't want to be an accountant, but you should know what the process is.
Agreed. And I am definitely right there. I'm definitely not an accountant, but I have been keeping track every single month of what I'm bringing in with clients, private clients, massage clients, coaching clients, all of that, just so I have a little bit of a record. It's just helpful. You don't want to do the whole year at the end of the year. You don't want to play
Yeah,
catch up on that.
yeah, and I mean it's happened. Like I said, I've just gotten better. I knew that I had a product that people wanted. I knew the quality was there. I knew that there was an interest. It's Media is something that's not going to go away, and businesses are thinking about having an online presence now more than ever. I mean, there's an incredible amount of people that are pivoting,
Yeah.
and it's like you don't have to pivot. You just have to do what you love to do, but create an online presence. So when people do, say you meet somebody at an event, at a networking event, you give them a card and they go back to the website, they go back to social media and they check you out and they're like, oh, wow, this is what that person does. And you know what? I like them. I met them. They're likable and I trust them. I'm going to do business with them.
Yep.
So that's what that's for, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Alrighty. So, can you, switching gears slightly to your passion with, you have shared with me, you are creating story with video. So I was hoping that you could give our viewers like 3 to 5 tips for somebody just starting out with weaving video into their marketing strategy, and not necessarily equipment, maybe a few things like, I think we like those Joby tripods, those are really cool, but just some simple basic tips for people just starting out with video.
So number one, especially in business, something that we have to get, and it takes some time to do. Nobody starts off. 99% of the people that I interview, for example, or have in front of the camera, feel comfortable with being in front of the camera. So number one, they don't feel comfortable, and number two, a lot of them don't even want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's as a production person and as somebody who interviews people, it's my job to get them to feel comfortable, and that doesn't happen overnight.
Sure.
If you think about being in front of the camera, if you think about if you don't think about editing yourself and how good you look, or I've gained pounds, or I have a pimple, if you try to forget about that and think about the content, think about the value that you bring to your clients, that's going to make all the difference. You're going to be better in front of the camera. You're going to be better in front of, talking to 5, 10, 15, 20, 1,000 people in a room. It can be very, when you think about it, you're putting yourself out there, and people might say things, but you have to take that with a grain of salt, and really just think about what the services and value that you bring to your client. If you think about that, the rest goes away. So that's the first step. It's just saying, you know what, F it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get in front of the camera. And just like, let's say, working out, you cannot get the physique you want if you don't put in the work.
Right.
Like, you just can't. There's no way. I mean, I guess you can have lipo, but still, you're not healthy. So
Right.
The only way you're going to build that body and build that media body, and build your content is by doing it every day. Take a little bit of time, schedule it out from 1 to 2. This is what I do. That's what we do with our clients. So from 1 to 2, you whatever media you decide to use, and it's really, you have to reverse engineer for your clients. Where are your clients engaging the most? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Wherever it is, that's where you go. Use each platform natively, meaning don't upload a video to YouTube and then copy the link and put it on Facebook. One, Facebook doesn't like that because it's taking them out of Facebook.
Right.
And Two, you're not going to get those auto views when you're scrolling, and it used to be 8 seconds that you need to have to get somebody's attention, or that's what you have, right? Now it's even faster. Like we're on our phones and we're going through the feeds like this, just thumbs.
Yep.
So to get that attention, it has to be something that pops out, a thumbnail, something, a moving video, whatever it is, and then you're like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" And then you give them the 8 seconds, the 10 seconds, the 30 seconds, and so you're just everybody's buying for everybody's time, and it's becoming a little bit harder to do. So video's the number one way to do that. So choose the platform that you want to do it, go natively, and then forget about, editing yourself and the way you look. It's all about the content that you're providing, right? And that's the best tip. And just do it every day. TikTok or Instagram stories. People really love the behind the scenes.
Yes.
So much, and that doesn't take a lot of editing power, right? So if you were never going to use regular Facebook or Instagram, use stories, use the behind the scenes, show your process. People really buy into that, and they see the progress. They love that. I get so much more engagement on my stories than I do on my regular feeds, and it reminds people, what you're doing,
right?
And it's pretty simple. So it's a way to start out, right? And the way I've like this content idea where I love podcasting because it's long form content. A half an hour or an hour conversation, you can break up into different things. So if we're talking about social media, we have like a 1 minute bit, or we're talking about apps that we use for our business. That's it.
Yep.
You use that 90 seconds. So create long form, capture the moment, document it, and then start to distill it into smaller pieces of content where you build your library up. And use YouTube and Vimeo differently than LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. And there's an audience for everything. If you knit, you can create an Instagram account and kill it.
Yes.
You can kill it. and learn how to hashtag, learn how to reach that audience, send DMs, engage in people's in what they're interested in, build your community that way.
Definitely. Yep. And I find you can also, I've had a lot of really excellent luck using Instagram stories and getting people on live and doing little demos on live. This is this is just a little part of what I'll be teaching in this full class, that sort of thing, kind of giving them little bits of what you do and definitely showing them that behind the scenes. I know that attracts me. I always want to see what people's workspaces look like. Just, yeah. The messier, the better.
Well, so you see that, and it's almost like you're fishing, and it's the bait. It's like showing them a little bit, and like, okay, that's the process. You know what? I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Or I'm ready to do this. Whether they do it themselves or they do it, hiring somebody like us to do it. For example, Dave Toole. He's been doing little things on his own because we're not there every day.
Right.
But that leads to the other content, whether it's Shop Talk Live or the more edited stuff, right? There's a place and time for all of it.
Yes.
The behind the scenes, the heavily edited stuff, the stuff where it's just like, utilizing Memorial Day, for example.
Yep.
Talking about things that are out there and that people are interested in, and kind of voicing it from your point of view. People really react well to that. It's really not just about like creating a 30-second commercial to sell something. It's really just your story. People buy into that, and people want to do business with people that they enjoy spending time with, and that's just that's the way I work.
Yeah, if you could relate to somebody, and that attracts you to them, of course that it'll be easier to work with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. On the restaurants, for example, there's restaurants that have really great food, but because of maybe the service isn't good, I won't go back.
Yeah.
I just won't. you have to have that package.
Yes.
You have to have good customer service. And I will, and to use it in restaurant terms, I will 86 a restaurant if they don't have good service.
Yeah.
I don't care how good the food is. If the experience is not a good experience, and I'll give them a chance.
Sure.
If they're busy, they're busy. But if the hostess has an attitude, or the server doesn't, it's just non-existent.
Yeah.
I just won't go back.
Absolutely. Definitely. So it's kind of like those using video is also part of your customer service. It can be kind of like that in a way of how you are dressing and showing up for your customers, potential clients.
Absolutely. I mean, using social media, for example, somebody can ask you about the process of how you coach them, and they'll go into engaging with you on one of your posts. And if somebody asks about how you're doing, what your process is there, and you never answer them, that's a quick way of losing a customer.
Oh yeah.
And not only one customer, but it's a domino effect, because everybody else sees that you didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do answer, they're going to be like, wow, this person really cares.
Yes, exactly.
So engagement.
Engagement.
There's the levels of engagement. There's the likes, the comments, and then the reshares. The reshare is great because somebody thought that your piece of content was so valuable and helpful that they wanted to share it with their network. That's like the golden ticket right there.
I completely agree. Absolutely.
And it doesn't happen overnight.
Yes, exactly. It takes
This is
work.
the most important thing to remember about social media is 1 is greater than 0.
Love it.
Just because you have 20,000 followers, whether they're real or not,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you have a crazy amount of business. I know a lot of people that are Instagram big, but they haven't really brought that into the business world, that much. So
yeah.
Looks can be deceiving.
Indeed. Indeed. Cool. Thank you very much for sharing those awesome tips. And I want to close by asking you, how do you recharge your energy? Do you have a self-care routine that you do for yourself?
Lately, I've been having more of a green thumb. I have some herbs that I'm tending to, and they're like kids,
Yes.
They're very, a little too much sun, and they start to wilt, and you bring them in and, give them some water and some nutrients, and they pop up, and I talk to them. I play music for them. I have coffee with them.
Nice.
That's been kind of great, doing something totally different.
Yeah.
I really love and still enjoy. I love street photography, especially at night. So I take groups, Visual Street Society, and anybody who wants to learn or be part of it can join us. We go on these street explorations around the city, mostly San Francisco, and mostly at night. And we learn how to use light that we have, and do photography and video as well. So that's a passion of mine, and it doesn't seem like work, even though it's very connected. Those are the two things that have been, just really kind of taken off for me. And I find that I center myself around that. I really do. I'm passionate about teaching people, loving how to teach people how to do it on their own. It's like teaching somebody how to fish. I never had any idea. I never wanted Visual Street to have thousands of employees. I don't want that. I want people to learn how to do this, and if we can come together on projects, then that's amazing, And if not, then that's great too. So I've taught a lot of people how to edit and shoot, and I always say, our internship, for example, I will teach somebody that has no computer skills or photography skills, and I've proved it within 3 months, a 3-month internship. They will be able to learn how to shoot and edit their own videos, and that's a lot more than big schools can say.
Absolutely. Yep.
Very hands-on.
How cool. I didn't know you had that photography society. Did I say that right?
Visual Street Society.
Visual Street Society. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I just created a new Instagram not too long ago,
All
and we just been going like once a month
right. Nice.
and shooting. I learned so much because it's hands on, and you learn how to utilize the light that's out there, and whether it's video or photos. And then we ask and we share, and we're like, "Oh, look what I got! Look what I got!" So it's really building a community around it, and it's I'm passionate about it.
Definitely.
It's really cool, and especially like say you're out and about in the city, by yourself can be a little, a little things can happen,
Sure.
especially with expensive gear. But if you're out in a big group, you're more likely gonna have a lot more fun, and you don't have to worry about it so much.
Totally.
Yeah. And you're exploring the city in different neighborhoods. It's super cool. I mean, North Beach, Chinatown, the lights are really cool. Next to Bay Bridge, the lights. There's so much artwork
Yes.
happening that's really cool to capture.
Definitely in different angles and things like that. Do you allow people to join you who are just using iPhones? That would be me.
Uh, you can, yeah,
Okay, cool.
absolutely. I mean, it's the more the merrier, and
Great.
it's fun. And we've done it where we kind of go and stop and have a cocktail somewhere, and then we go out, and it's just really getting to know the city, and you can use whatever you want, obviously with another with it doesn't even have to be a professional camera, but any digital SLR, you get to know your manual, take it off from. You really get to play with your camera and learn the settings.
Yeah.
I've never had we take photos with our phones just to post something real quick on stories. But if all you have is your phone, that's what you have. The best camera is the one you have in your hand.
Yes.
Period.
Awesome. Coolio. Thank you. And last but not least, Alonso, how do you prefer people to connect with you right now? Is it email or social media? How would you like folks to connect with you?
Well, you can connect with me on email. Email is the most dreaded way unfortunately, we still need it, but hopefully soon we don't.
Yes.
You get lost in translation because of the massive amount of emails that I get every day. But you can contact me on Instagram, visualstreet.tv, or if you're interested in coming out for the walking photography and video sessions at Visual Street Society, or my personal, teaching more people how to do video, videocoach.tv. Any of those will work. But you can reach me out at Alonso with an S, ALONSO at visualstreet.tv, email, or hit us up on Facebook.
Great.
If you have a business, I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Perfect. Alonso, thank you so much for your time today. This was incredibly helpful. I love doing these interviews, and I was so excited that you were eager to get on this live with me today. So thank you very much for your time. So I don't see any questions. We had several people in and out of this live. So if you're watching live, thank you so much. If you're watching the recording, again, thank you. Please put any questions or comments in the comment box below, and we'll be sure to answer those personally. All right.
Absolutely. And people want to know more tech. I have an essential kit. If you want to get started with videography or photography, this essential kit basically, I put some together that's super light, and for vloggers or journalists, or if you just want to get started doing videos, with $5,000 worth of equipment, you can actually start making a living out of it.
Nice.
Like start to finish. And for any business person, entrepreneur, $5,000 is really cheap.
True. Yes.
All right. So in this essential kit, I put it together because we've been working on a documentary, and all our gear, it takes time to set up.
Yes.
So if we need to capture something really quick, you just go into the backpack and grab it. It's a small pack, a little tripod, and there's, you can time lapse. You can do everything we do on a smaller scale.
Nice.
You don't need the whole big production to get started. So that's an essential kit. follow me on videocoach.tv. And every day I'm going to be putting more of this game and talking about techniques, how to interview people, what you do when you get on a job site, whatever it is.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
You're so welcome, Alonso. I really appreciate your time today. And so we will sign off for now. Bye, everyone.
Later.